Hello again. I'm back with another video expedition. This time of another eccentric Turkish mall. But my last video was about a dead mall. This video is about two interconnected vintage malls in the European side neighborhood of Beşiktaş, which is in Istanbul, which is in Turkey. And I'm ready with my flip-flops, and here we begin our amazing eccentricity-filled expedition to first the Great Beşiktaş Mall, which was built in the mid 1990s or somewhat earlier, I don't remember, but it still preserves all the hallmarks of its era. And right in front of it is this monument to Uğur Mumcu, who was a journalist who was killed by unknown forces in the 1990s. He was an activist for secular and independent Turkish lifestyle. But right next to it is a curiosity. And here the strangeness begins. You see, one of these rocks has been sculpted into the likeness of an eagle. Never mind the cat, she's trying to get my attention. And the eagle is killing a snake. And this is actually the work of this mysterious gentleman who I saw earlier in separate occasions, but I could never ask his name. This guy walks around Istanbul with a hammer and a chisel and makes these strange sculptures from out of concrete and any available stone. And that was a gorilla, and now you see the eagle. The eagle is also a symbol of Beşiktaş because a sports team of the same name has a stadium nearby, and the symbol of that team is an eagle. And here I can't resist the charms of this cat. We're gonna be seeing many cats in this expedition, so off you go. That's the bizarre, completely illegal eagle statue. But it's a nice thing that the municipality tolerates such things. And here it is, the Great Beşiktaş Mall or Arcade. So this was like a high-end luxury place back in the day. But now, as we're about to see, it's fallen into some sort of disuse. It no longer has amazing brands, but it has got everyday shops, clothes shops, mail office. You'll see them. And actually, right from the entrance, there's a store available for rent. Or right next to it, there's the Let's Relax foot massage for 50 lira. And this amazing new retro wave palm trees. And here you can just rent this store. There's a heater inside. You could do anything with it. Do you want to rent it? Here's another branch of the foot massage. But actually this one, this toilet, it's an amazing place because 10 years ago, this was the site of a toilet managed by a very eccentric gentleman who called himself the King. And here you see something's not quite right upstairs with him, but he was a great guy. He says, "Dear guests, luxurious and modern toilets need to live." And he says, "Make this place live, the King." And this toilet was full of these arcane and outsider signs that he wrote, and they're all full of these parables or life lessons, and he always signed them the King. And he says, "If you don't like cleanliness, please don't come here." And I took these photographs in 2007, if you can believe it, 12 years old now, and it was decorated with these texts. And he died afterwards, and only these photographs remain of this place, to the best of my knowledge. And he says, "For 30 years I have given this service to my people, but my people never understood it. So I carve my last words to the exit of this toilet. If I die today and 50 years pass, no one can do such a service. I have given my whole soul. I have given my 30 years, and if I survive, my grave will be cleaner than this place. Believe me, my essence and words are one of the person, he said. And now we are honoring the last wishes of the king, because now his beautiful eccentric toilet has been destroyed forever by the ravages of time and the necessity of the rent, I guess. So here we go. This is a really eclectic mall. They really use these octagonal or nonagonal or hexagonal forms a lot in these columns and the decorations. Everything is angular and kind of cool in a way you would expect from the 1990s. And this is one of the greatest attractions of the mall, a pet shop full of aquaria. What's in that tank? Fish. But you kind of get the feeling that if you dwell inside, you will see like a mutant fish or something. Anyways, that place is worth an entire episode of itself. So now let's walk deeper forwards. You see once again the payphones left over from the early 2000s, and there's a illuminated courtyard and the trees grow through it. I really like this detail about this mall. It gives it a really humane aspect and a scale, and these trees grew since the mall was established. Actually, right next to it was this cinema, the Yumurcak cinema, and I have a very poignant memory in this mall and that cinema. I went there with my late grandmother. We went to see Casper the Friendly Ghost. It was 1991 or something. And there was a bomb alert, because at those years the freedom fighters, to some people known as the PKK, were planting bombs all over Turkey, and especially in the cities. And there was a bomb alert in the theater, and my grandmother and I went running out of the theater through the mall. And I remember these hexagonal columns very vividly from that terrified escape in my childhood. And I never get to see Casper, the Friendly Ghost. But anyways, back to the present. Let's entertain ourselves a bit. Here's a fire alert from the 1990s. It says at the bottom, unnecessary users will be punished. Do you want to be punished? Break the glass. I could think of some people who could use that in their entertainment. You pressed the button, I gotta punish you. You've been a bad person. I don't know. Anyways, let's go up one floor, and as you can see, all these shoe stores and discount clothes stores really replace a lot of fancy shops that once used to exist here. In fact, here is one of the attractions of the mall. There's a music store that hasn't changed its facade since at least 2004 or something, and you can see Linkin Park, the new studio album, What I've Done. I think this was 2004, and here is a house music from 2003, Head Candy. Look at these gracious vectoral graphics. And then here's Ricky Martin, and I think this is the last photograph of Ricky Martin as a straight person remaining in the world. And here are some Turkish pop stars. Again, none of these posters have been touched since the late 90s or the early 2000s. And I could have spent more time there, but the guy who looks at this shop is a prickly sort, and I didn't want to get shut down. And that's always a risk in these malls because of the bomb alerts and all. Even though the terrorism risk is not as great as it used to be, people still don't like anonymous figures like myself recording the surroundings. And as you can see, here are more details. There's a really humane scale to this mall. It doesn't dwarf people, and it doesn't make you feel insignificant. And as we go up the escalator and look at the trees growing through it, I can't help but think, this was the scale at which they should have stopped. This is a mall, still very attractive, very humane, and as you could see from that lady there, people come here just to chill out, even if they don't shop around, and most of these shops don't get to sell much. And as you can see, as you go up the stories, some of the shops have discounts and most of them are just empty. And once again, that was a good use of an empty space for air circulation. Here's a cat number 2, I believe. Ooh, she's a prickly customer with one eye, a bell and no tail. Look at this chicken butt. What's this tail? What's this tail, you retard? I'm gonna give it to you. This is an inevitable fact of life in Istanbul. You're never far away from cats, and they always come up to you for rubs, and you should give them what's their due, because it brings you good luck or something. And now you can see one of the age-old Ottoman era mosques of Beşiktaş. So this mosque is, I believe, dating from the 1600s, if not slightly earlier. And I wish I did my research, but I believe it was built by Sinan. Oh, it's you again. I'm trying to talk about history, cat. Damn you. That's what you want, isn't it? Anyways, there's a historic mosque and a second mall which is adjacent to ours, which we will explore soon. But drink in the view. This is the everyday view people enjoy in Beşiktaş from this vintage mall. And there used to be a really big comic store here. The comic store still exists, but part of it is no longer in use, and look how nice this place is. The view, the greenery. Actually, in the angles of the windows, you could still see that great 90s design aesthetic. Certainly an architect was at work here. And here, the comic store still exists. It's actually one of the best, if not the best, comic stores in Istanbul, but not much of a comics guy. Next door was a shop you could pay gas bills, and next to that is some clothes shop and some vacant shops. And as we walk, here's the trees again. That lady is still reading her book, just having a nice day. This was a very hot day and people would come here just to enjoy the cool breeze. And I actually had a really good time here, really refreshing time here. Look at the clothes boutiques, discounts, 30, 40, 50. You wanna buy some PJs? You wanna buy some? Actually, I'm a little hungry. And actually, this was a planned stunt because this is the Great Çarşı Cafe. They do the best home-cooked meals, some of the best, in all of Istanbul. It's a little shop with some mammies and some baby operating it. These old guys and this lady, and here's my delicious lunch. And they're a very friendly bunch. If you visit Istanbul, Çarşı Cafe. It was a great lunch,
Teşekkür ederim. Elinize sağlık.
I say goodbye.
Mersi abi, çok sağ
Have
ol.
a nice day.
Hürmetler.
And my regards. They really liked me. I really liked them. And that was me speaking Turkish, this weird, unintelligible Ural Altaic language. Well, let's go on. Now that I'm fully fed, we can explore more of this mall. As you can see, it's one big courtyard with the trees. Once again, the tree adds just so much to it, and it actually grew there over the years, but it looks like the mall has been designed around the tree, which gives it a very beautiful and humane atmosphere. Another woman reading. It's just a really nice, chill, safe space. And contrast this with these air-conditioned piece of shit mega malls these days, where you cannot relax. You have to keep moving. You have to keep moving forward. But here, people are just having a nice day. And I really hope to my heart that this place never gets gentrified. I hope it always stays this way. I don't care if the shops sell anything. I mean, economy has to run somehow, but you need this. You need this breath of humanity in this crowded city. And we go up to the top floor to what is probably the only design flaw of this place, because this top floor has a great view of the town around it, but they use it as a parking lot. And around this part of the town, parking space is really hard to come by. So they made this silly decision. I think it would have been much better cafes or some more plants, places to sit. An open air cafe wouldn't hurt. But now we're back downstairs. There's a store named More. Do you want more? Well, you can have more, because that store is now vacant. You can rent it and, I don't know, change it into a bookshop that sells lizard books. I'm sure that's a great business plan. Anyway, we're going down the escalator now. And he says everything is single price, 50 lira, which at today's price, which is August 2019, it's like $5.50, maybe a bit more. And again, old people enjoying themselves. I thought that guy looked like Stan Lee coming to visit the comics shop, but no. Once again, a beautiful view of the courtyard. The pet shop's purple lights illuminate the root of the tree of ages, which has been growing infinitely since the late 1990s, I guess. Anyways, now orange accessories. You want to get some orange accessories? Are they made out of oranges or are they just painted orange? Anyways, now we're going to a secret space, because here's a, by the way, Casio watch shop that has stood unchanged since the 1990s. Some luggage shop again. Anyways, we're going to the sector where the stub-tailed cat used to harass me, and we're gonna now take a shortcut to another mall, because there's two malls here, both of them vintage, both of them full of cats. Look at this retard. You're having too easy a life, cat. I'm gonna disturb you. You deserved it. Go back to sleep. You don't have to work for a living. So anyways, this is the other Beşiktaş Mall that was designed and built by completely different architects, and now it's in a completely different state too. It's full of these clothes shops for women. It's a closed mall, so it doesn't have trees growing in it. It's closer to the American style of malls that were built in the 1990s. Another cat. Can you believe how many has it been? 5 couple shopping. Anyways, this was like one of the most eccentric, zingy, dingy 1990s shopping malls in Istanbul until like 2 years ago. It's still an eccentric place, but instead of these clean white lights, it used to have these amazing polyhedral ironwork red lights and these neons that have stood unchanged. Now they've cleaned it up, hoping to attract a better clientele, but still it's full of these like dingy old ladies boutiques, discount boutiques. Here's a bookshop, but they only sell test books for these interminable Turkish education tests that do their best to stupefy people. But anyways, I don't know. It's still sometimes you get good bargains there. But once again, the second floor, it's full of clothes. This is a very feminine mall at this day and age in Istanbul. Many women come here to buy shops or look for bargains. And there's a McDonald's. There are more places to eat, as we're about to see. But it's full of these made in China strange clothes. I mean, if you are fashion conscious, you'll probably find some bargains here, but clothes I really can't care about. Here we go down this purple gauze staircase. And here's another retard enjoying herself. I'm using retard non-pejoratively. Cat, what are you doing? Looks like she's gonna take a swat at me, so I'm not gonna squeeze her. So, they really refurbished this mall. But the bottom floor is like one silent crystal iceberg end of Stanley Kubrick's 2001 Space Odyssey style white vacuum of emptiness. Look at it. Wouldn't it be strange to rent this place? You can rent nothingness, you can do it and have the shop of your life. If I had the money to spare, actually if this place was thrust upon me, I would turn it into an art gallery, because nobody's gonna sit here all day in this empty, airless place and hope to sell stuff to people. And it's 2019. Christmas celebrations. Look up the sky. Neon lights like snowflakes of some sort. And they've chosen this bluish hue which makes everything look more synthetic and cold and hostile than it already looks like. So anyways, it's this really bizarre headspace. So now we're gonna go up and explore every floor. But instead of taking the main staircase, notice that there is an architectural elegance to this staircase, by the way. But now it's buried under all this detritus of problem. Look at it, 20 lira for this owl tote bag. I don't need that. But anyways, now we're gonna explore this mall, but not from the main staircase, but from the more corner underground service kind of staircase. The staircase that only the staff use. And here are some toilets and some power breakers, but there wasn't any eccentric guy here. It was a straight up toilet for as long as I knew it. But anyways, flip, flop, flip, flop. We're going up. And every floor is another surreal landscape. Havana luggage. Get some Chinese luggage and run away to Cuba. Run away from Cuba. Yeah, smuggle your family in luggage. Smuggle yourself away from Cuba. Sorry, these staircases get me a little poetic. So now this zone is more lively and it's full of these ladies selling dresses to other ladies, and the circle of life moves on ad infinitum. So we go up one more floor. So this is the tea guy, or maybe not, I don't know. These little boys run around circuits delivering tea or running errands for many shops. So this is the entrance floor, and as you can see, it's a like many old ladies come here to relax, shop, or just talk. And just look at it, Esma Boutique, and all these plastic models are up there representing. All right, we're gonna see more of them now. There's this elevator, and upstairs there's a dentist supposedly. Said the signs, but I didn't go up there. So this light fixture, it's again survival from the 1990s and with its bizarre rhombus shape. So now we're at the top floor, and all the bottom floors had these like ladies shops, but now this place is the only man's refuge, even though here are some custom-made dress shops and the tailors, some more strange Mediterranean clothes with some ladies talking shop, and there's a solarium. You wanna get there and get some skin cancer? Yeah, And here's the most pathetic. Someone, I guess they went to New York once, or they saw a lot of things from Tumblr or Pinterest, and there's Burger Daily Shakes. Fresh and N. Does it mean, did they mean fresh egg? Fries, coffee, pies. TRC American Diner. Come there and feel like an American. But next door, Vision PlayStation 3 4 computer PC game PSP formats given Technic service. So that was really pathetic. I mean, this guy trying to imitate this fake Brooklyn kind of store. But this is reality, man. This is the shop. This is the neighborhood. You might pretend you're having American burger shakes. Here you are, smack in the middle of Istanbul, buying illegal electronics and cheap clothes. Actually, like this kind of life better. Let them have their shakes and their Brooklyn coffee. I think Worth has had enough of that sorarus. So anyways, I was saying this is a guys section of the mall, because up on this floor are all these shops selling second-hand or illegal electronics. Illegal meaning unlicensed. And here is the place you come for pirate games, and I had to just walk briskly through there because I'm a guy with a camera. I had some bad stares. So now we're back at the old mall again, once again, passing through some tailors again. And here you can see the architects built these big windows with some more loftier goals. They wanted it to be open and airy. Now it's all changed. And here's old one-eye stub-butt chicken cat again. And now we're slowly coming to the end of our adventure. It's a vintage shopping mall where parts of the 1990s and the early 2000s still live on next to centuries-old Ottoman monuments, still graced with the beauty and humanity of a beautiful and humanely scaled architecture. Those buildings up there, by the way, are the exterior of the mall we just toured. They look like the Hanging Gardens of Babylon with the big windows. And these palm trees really add a lot of atmosphere. And in fact, there's a restaurant up there called Palm Cafe. Go up there and have the view of your life. So anyways, ladies and gents, this was another tour in Istanbul. We saw a lot of eccentricity and a lot of stuff that in retrospect now looks beautiful. And thank you for watching, and thank you for sharing this adventure with me. I really like this thing about living in Turkey and living in Istanbul in general. I mean, sure, there's bombs and it is a mild autocracy, there's no escaping that. But throughout those difficulties, there's a part of life that's not regulated, as closely as life in the West is regulated. And if you are lucky, and that's a caveat, but if you are lucky with your education, your upbringing, and your opportunities, this is a really exciting city. It's a city that keeps on giving because it's full of unpredictability. And it still has places where you don't have to schedule. You can just live life and wait for things to happen to you. I think that's a great thing that people in the West are missing out on more and more. But anyways, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this tour. Please comment, what do you think about this mall? Do you like this series? Where would you like me to explore next? Or do you have other suggestions? I don't know. Just comment and subscribe to my channel. And as always, support me on Patreon, because your sponsorship makes life in Turkey bearable, possible, and also with your support I can bring more such bizarre scenes to YouTube. Anyways, support me on Patreon, ladies and gents. This was a CM Kosemen video adventure. I hope you have a great day. Goodbye.